Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You're at Elly's World Cup Weeklies, but today I'm going to be talking about England versus Haiti. Right, let me just wait 1 second, guys and girls. I'm going to shut the curtain. That's better. Right, now you can see me. Right, so basically, I'm going to be talking about England and Haiti, the preview. Come on, come on, the Lionesses. Right, so I've got a lot of show to get through, so I better get cracking. Right, so the first thing I want to talk about is if England Lionesses stick to the script and we top our table, we can bypass all the not all the major teams, but it depends. If the quarterfinal clash winners of Group F or runners up of Group H, most likely to be France or Brazil. So we're not going to have an easy ride in this World Cup if we progress through in our group, Group D, which we're in. In our group, I don't know if you know this, but we have Denmark, China, and Haiti, who we're playing on Saturday. So, what we've got to do is be very diligent and make sure we stay focused, because even for the games that you are expected to win, because we are expected to win against Haiti on Saturday. The kickoff is at 10:30, I believe. Let me just check that. No, yes, it is. No, it isn't. No, it's 9:30 versus Denmark, and I think it's 10:30 versus. Yeah, it is. It's 10:30 versus Haiti. You see, when I do my research, sometimes I get a bit muddled, but that comes with age. I am 60 after all. Right. So there's my excuses out of the way. Right. Like if you're worried about it, write me an email. There you go. Get in there quick. Now the semis open up the possibility of England versus Germany as well. Now, how exciting would that be, ladies and gentlemen? Bearing in mind we got one over them at Wembley in the Euros last year, winning 2-1. Come on, you Lionesses! Woo! Right. So I'll get to that later, because I want to mention a special mention for a certain player that I absolutely adore, and another player that actually got our winner. But I won't go through that now. What I want to do is go through Haiti's predicted lineup. Right. Probably you're not familiar with this, I'm not sure, but they've got some very good players, and they mainly play in the French leagues. So the Haiti predicted lineup is Curly Fuse in goal, Jennifer Limage. If I butcher these names, I really do. I'm sorry, the French Haiti people. You know, like if you're tuning in and you hear my pronunciation, I'm really, really sorry. But I'm going to try my best. So the next player is Yuzuri Surplice, Tabitha Joseph, Kefna Louis, Shirley Judy, Diana Pierre Louis. What a great name, eh? Diana. Do you imagine that? You want to take the woman out and you say, what's your name? Diana Pierre Louis. You're going to take her out, aren't you? And then we got B. Ajipa, Louis Melchi de Mornay, and Narilla Mondesia. And the captain, she's the captain, sorry, Narilla Mondazia. And then we've got another fabulous name, Rose Lord Borgella. What fabulous names they got. Obviously, they're from French heritage, aren't they? So, yeah. So there you go. There's the predicted lineup for the Haitan team. And I'll just get our predicted lineup now. I don't think this is going to be the team, right? I think probably there'll be a few changes to this team in my book. I'll tell you why later. So in goal we have Mary Earps, the captain Millie Bright of Chelsea, Alex Greenwood, Jess Carter, Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh, Ella Toone of Man United, Lauren James of Chelsea. She's Reece James's sister. If anybody doesn't know, you've been living under a rock. And Laura Hemp, of Manchester City. Fantastic player. Saw her live when I went to Spurs Ladies and they battered us 3-0 at Brisbane Road. And then you've got Aston Villa's Rachel Daly, who's actually 30. I think she's either 30 or 31 years old, one of the two. But she's full of energy, Rachel Daly. So she gets the nod over my favourite player in England. And obviously, because I'm a big Spurs fan, as everybody knows, is Beth England. So I just hope Serena Wiegman, our manager, gives Beth the nod, because I saw us play against Portugal, in the warm-ups, and we were quite woeful. We were really lacklustre up front, and Alicia Russo was running like a blue-ass fly around the pitch, but not getting anywhere. So they actually brought on Chloe Kelly, and she made a big difference. But the thing is, we were like huffing and puffing, and we weren't blowing their house down, really, because the Portuguese, they're very good defensively. I must give them their dues. And then we played Canada behind closed doors in a 0-0 draw. So we haven't scored in both games, which is a bit of a worry. So I'm thinking, come on, Serena Wiegman, get Beth England in there. She scored 12 in 12 for us, saved us from relegation at Spurs Women. Big signing, big money signing from Chelsea, 250 smackers, So, yeah, I'm just excited now, right? And I want to see a lot of good football. I want to see lots of good passing. I want to see brilliant goals going in the top of the net, and just all the girls having fun and enjoying their football. Both sides, England and Haiti. Sorry, yeah, because my daughter tells me off if I say Haiti. She says, "No, Mum, it's Haiti." So if anybody disagrees with my daughter, please let me know in the chat. But now what I'm going to do is get to my chat, because you lot lovely people are waiting for me to answer your questions, or just generally have a chat with you, So at the top of the list, we got Bobby K in Canada. Woo! He'll be cheering on Shalina Sadowski of Spurs, I'd imagine, right? And obviously the Canadian team are very good. They won the Olympic gold medal in 2020. So they're coming with good pedigree into this tournament. Right, and then we have Jim. Hello, Jim. Oh, did you put the shopping away again today, I suppose? I don't know. Maybe Kate's got getting you doing it every day. You know what I mean? Right, so Jim saying, morning, Elly. Morning, Jim. Then we've got my beautiful niece, Drula. Always joins me. Good morning, Auntie El. Good morning, Drula. And then Drula saying, morning, Jim. Jim saying, morning, Drula, you well? Yeah, because my niece, she suffers with her back really badly. And my brother Boo as well. His real name's Badaskivas, but we call him Boo. I think I've told you that, but I'll remind you. We actually call him Boo, or Boo, right? Boo for short, Boo for long. And he was called Parrot at school as well, because like Paraskevas, they shortened it to Parrot. Because, with Greek names, it's like they're long. They're not, maybe not as long as Sri Lankan names, but they're long, so you have to shorten them. My proper name is Alea in English, or Aglaia if you say it in Greek. But obviously, I weren't going to school with that name, right? So my brothers, we used to watch the Beverly Hillbillies, and I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember that in the chat. Probably not. But there used to be Miss Elly, and they called me Elly after the grandmother, you see? So there you go. That's how I got my nickname. But you know what? I never used my Greek name. My mum only used it when she was angry with me. She used to go, Aglaia. She used to hate me was playing football, but I was like football crazy. Everybody knows me. I'm football crazy, and she never liked it, my mum, because we're a little village from Cyprus. And basically, she just like screwed her nose up at me playing football with my brothers. What was I going to do? 7 brothers. I'm not going to play with little dollies, was I? So I was a right tomboy, but I enjoyed my football, And then I got signed for Spurs Ladies at 12 years old, right? And that was the most exciting time of my life. But enough about me. Let's get back to the chat. Right, so we got morning Jula. Sorry about this. I always do that. Right, so we got Wayne Bonner. Hello, Wayne. Good morning to you, mate. Good morning, Elly Drula. Jim, hope you're all well. Yeah, I'm sure Jim's okay. He's probably just about recovered from putting the shopping away. That's what I say. Right, write me an email, and I might even address it to your better half, Kate. Right, then we've got Jim saying, morning, Wayne. I'm fine, thank you. And your good self, lovely. And then we have Drula saying, just bear with me. Drula saying, morning, Wayne. There you go. That's the end of that bit of the chat. Right, so let's get back to the banners. Right, so I really want to talk about the World Cup now, because even though this is an England preview, you've got to have a bit of background of what happened in previous World Cups. So let me just get that up for you. So I'm here to educate, because some people know about women's football and others don't. And even if you are like the most stalwart of women's football followers, you still can miss a few details. So there's been, I'm here obviously to educate. So there's been 8 Women's World Cup tournaments. The inaugural winners were USA in 1991. They beat Norway. And 1995, Norway beat Germany. In 1999, USA beat China. That was a very good final. I've read about that final, but it was too long to go through. And this is an England Haiti stream, so I'm sort of skipping over it, but it is very important to mention all the winners, obviously. And then 2003, back-to-back winners. Germany beat Sweden in 2003, and then again in 2007 they beat Brazil. So that was Brazil's first final, would you believe? Like the men, they've been storming it, haven't they? They've won 5 finals, but in recent years they've not been so clever. They've like dropped off, but they'll come good again because they're Brazil. They're on the beach, aren't they, practicing now with their samba music? You know what I mean? And then in 2011, Japan beat USA, right? So that was, I think, Japan's first final, and they lost. And then the last tournament, USA beat Netherlands, otherwise known as Holland. I know them as Holland. I always say Holland. We've had some great players from that country, haven't we, at Spurs as well, especially Van der Vaart. Yeah, and then we had Edgar Davids as well, who's a fabulous player with the old glasses. He looked like put shades, look so cool, the coolest footballer on earth, that Edgar Davids, right? Obviously, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say Glenn Hoddle was the coolest of them all. Those legs went on forever, but I won't go there because I'm a married lady. There you go. Right. So 4 years ago in 2019, where Serena Wiegman, our current manager, was the head coach of Netherlands, aka Holland, and she lost out to the USA's head coach. I've mentioned this before. Actually, USA's head coach is English, so we're claiming that one back from the America. So we have actually won it. You see what I mean? I'm claiming it back. And her name was born Jill Ellis, full name Gillian Ann Ellis. And she was actually born in Folkestone in Kent. And I know a lot of you guys are from that area. So I think even our Mia was from Kent originally. I think, was it Bexley Heath she said she's from? I think so, if my memory serves me well, But remember, I am 60 and, the old ticker. Sometimes it goes, but there you go. Right, so the next thing I want to talk about is England are grouped in Group D along with Haiti, Denmark and China. Our first match kicks off on Saturday the 22nd of July, so this Saturday at the Brisbane Stadium in Australia. Okay, kick off 10:30. There you go. I did get it right. And then on the 28th of July, we played Denmark, kick off 9:30. I'll just get the next banner up. Then the Denmark match, will be held at the Sydney Football Stadium. Then our last Group D match is on the 1st of August versus China at the Hindmarch Stadium. It's an inner western suburb of Adelaide, South Australia. Now, Australia is vast, isn't it? So we're travelling around. We've got some fantastic stadiums. I think I actually made a note of the capacities. Yeah, here we go. Right, so You see, I'm very diligent when I do my research. I'm not just giving you the facts. I'm giving you the facts behind the facts. You know what I mean? So we've got England versus Denmark, right? It's at the Sydney Stadium. It's sponsored by Alliance. It's called the Alliance Stadium, and the capacity of the stadium is 42,500, and that's going to be a sellout on Saturday, 100%. And I reckon at least 35,000 of those fans will be English fans, because they descended like the Irish. I was talking to Dermot yesterday, because, like, I don't know if you caught the Ireland game. It was a fabulous match, and very sadly Ireland lost it 1-0 on a penalty, but they were in the match for the whole of the match. All right, Australia dominated the possession most of the time, but the pressing by those Irish girls was fabulous. And the Australian girls, right, if any Australians are tuning in, right, you were a bit harsh on old Katie McCabe, you know, chopping her down at every given moment. Like, she got a bad treatment, man. If that was me, like, I had a very good temperament as a player, but I don't know whether I could have stood that. They were like really bullyish on her. So, you know, I might have offended some Australians there, but, you know, you were a bit harsh. And just recently, the Republic of Ireland were playing Colombia, and they actually called the match off because of the Colombian players' aggressiveness against the Irish girls. So come on, lay off the Irish girls, man. I've got my Irish citizenship now, so I'm bigging up the Irish girls as well as England. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a shame, because Katie McCabe, she could have influenced that game even more, you know. You know, if only they just laid off her a bit. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the match, right? So England versus Denmark, 9:30 a.m. That's our time, by the way. 9:30 a.m. is the next game on the 28th of July, and that's played at the Sydney Football Stadium, Alliance Stadium. The capacity is 42,500. I know I've just said that, but I thought I'd reiterate it, because you might have lost your way. You know, you never know. Some people might have fallen asleep. You never know. I don't think I'm that boring, though, by the way. Right, so the 1st of August, China versus England at 11:30 a.m. kickoff our time. The capacity, though, very small capacity. It's a bit of a cheat by the Australians, actually. We should have given us a bigger stadium. It's actually only 16,500 capacity. It's called the Hindmarsh Stadium, otherwise known as Cooper Stadium, because Cooper's, I'm not sure what it is. It might be a beer. I'm not sure. Probably a beer or something similar. Yeah, and 16,500. You know, where are all the English going to be? They're going to be parked outside the ground, all the ones who haven't got tickets. I'm sure they're going to be in a lot of pubs and bars around that area cheering on the girls. And they'll probably put a big screen up for us, you know, like they did for Spurs when we played Liverpool in the Champions League final. All the people that didn't have the tickets, they put a big screen up, and they played it at White Hart Lane as well, a sellout crowd. So, yeah, you see, so we've got a tough one against Denmark. We've got a tough one against China, and even Haiti. They're an up and coming team, and you know they've got some really good players in that squad. You know, so we've got to be on our guard. I've got the actual 23 woman squad as well. Let me just get it up, because I did send it to Dermot, but he's been feeling unwell, so I will read you their squad. Just bear with me, and I'll get it up. Right, but actually, while I'm doing that, while I'm finding it, I'm going to go to my comments again, because I'm not neglecting you guys, because you are the bread and butter, you are the force, you are everything to us at THFC Till I Die and THFC Women Till I Die on my side. Right, so you mean the earth to us, and we really do mean that, you know, because words speak louder than actions sometimes, you know. And I praise you all. And Carl Simpson, oh God, he won my competition yesterday, Carl, didn't you? So there'll be 2 Spurs shirts winging their way to him and his son. So well done, Carl, because you crack us up every single day, mate. You do, right? Especially with that clockerel cock business. with Dermot. That cracks me up every time, and like we've even called one of our podcasts after your thing. Maybe you should trademark it and get some money off Dermot. You never know. Carl, right? So Carl's saying, "Good morning, Elly. Just finished watching the Spain game. They were impressive." Yeah, I didn't actually catch it because I was getting prepared for this game, but I'm going to be watching the highlights because Dermot and I and a few other star guests are going to come in and we're going to do a weekly roundup of the World Cup results, scorers, attendances, that sort of thing, and make it interesting for you. Talk about the games as well and who the star players and who the standouts were, who were disappointing, call them out like we do with Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer gets it, doesn't he? Right. And then Drew is saying Nigeria versus Canada 0-0. Well done. You see, that's why I have my beautiful niece, because she fills me in. Right. I didn't get much sleep last night either, hence the bags, because I was preparing for this show. I'm telling you, there's a lot of work that goes into putting a show together, and I'm diligent. I want to give you all the information. So I'm not going to skimp just because it's a preview. Right. So we got Drew saying Nigeria versus Canada 0-0, Philippines versus Switzerland 0-2, and Spain versus Croatia with a thumping 3-0 win. Today's results. Thank you very much for that, Drula. I'll pay you later in kisses. Right, so then we got Drula say, sorry, it was Spain versus Costa Rica. There you go. See, sometimes even Drula can lose her sleep, and get it wrong. You never know. Right, so Wayne Bond, at least she put herself right, isn't it, boys and girls? Right, Wayne Bond is saying Spain look a good team, play some nice football. Yes, they do. And in Spanish football, they're fabulous, but not quite as good as Olympic Lyon in terms of winning Champions Leagues yet, but they've still got time. I think they've won three or four Champions League finals, if I'm correct. Barcelona and their star player, Alexa Putilla, I think that's how you pronounce it. Well, they're littered with star players, Spain. But you know what? Because we got Eltel Coquerel, otherwise known as Jose, not Jose, because that's Portuguese. Get it right? If you don't know, get to know, as Alex says. Right? He asked me to do Spain. I was going to do them anyway, but he made a special request. So I will be doing Spain. I'll probably do them on Monday because I've got to research them, and it takes a lot of work to research that Spanish team because they've got a fabulous tradition of Spanish football in general, men and women, but the women's side, I want to give you a good show. So I want to make sure that Eltel Cacarel, I'm going to send him an invite anyway. So if he does tune in later, I want him on the show as well. So yes, let's move on. The next one. Spain Julia said Spain looks very good. Yeah, they do. They're a fantastic side. Carl Simpson, love it, Elly, you little star. Kiss. There you go, Carl. I'll send you 2 kisses back. Don't tell the husband. Right. And then Carl Simpson says, I just told the wife not to expect too much tomorrow as I will be up in the early hours watching USA. Yeah, now they're another good side. Flipping hell, back-to-back World Cup winners, 2015 and 2019. And just a little bit of tit-tat, they're the Brazilian manager now is, the Australian manager now is Tony Gustafsson, right? And yesterday he was on the touchline versus Republic of Ireland, and he was actually the assistant manager to Jill Ellis at USA. So he comes from very, very good stock, So there's a little bit of tit-tat there. Just, you know what? I like to drop in a little bit of trivia, a little bit of sauce, It makes the show interesting, doesn't it? Right. And then we got Drew saying Eltel Coquerel will be happy with the Spanish result. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about Eltel Coquerel. Right. We've been talking, like I found him on Twitter. Right, we have really good chats. We've had the podcast together on Twitter as well, which was absolutely fabulous. And then we started talking a little bit. He's coming on THFC Till I Die in our chat. He's in everybody's chat. He's going on shows. He's got his own show now as well, Eltel Coquerel. And we were chatting one day, just after we sort of started getting to know each other, and I saw his daughter as well, and it was so nice. And he phoned me up after. No, he didn't phone me. He texted me after, and because he was on his way to a football match at the time, and they'd won 7-2. I think I've said this before, but I thought I'll milk it, right? And then he goes, L. I won 7-2. You're a lady luck, you know. I better speak to you more often. And then the other day they won 4-0. So there you go. I'm the lucky charm, I think. You never know. I might be a lucky charm, but you know what? He is a good footballer because you know he enjoys his football. I can tell by the way he talks. He's one of those lads who he's an older guy, but he's not that old. But he loves his football and it keeps him fit. That's the way you think. You know, in football, right? Sorry about that. In football, there's so many clubs that are setting up for over 50s and after over 60s. And I think the over 60s, I think they call it walking football. If anybody's interested to join a club, look up in your local area if you're over 50 or, you know, even 40s, you know, like you're getting on a bit, but you're not like finished. Even at 50 or 60, you're not finished. Because with me, I've got this condition. I've mentioned it the other day in my show as well. I've got this condition called plantar fasciitis. That's definitely a Greek word because the Greek medical terms, they're always long. Well, plantar fasciitis, if nobody knows, you've got a plantar strip of muscle in the base of your foot, and it runs from the near to your toes to the back of the heel. And if it's torn or damaged, it's very painful. You get pins and needles in your foot, and it's like having a headache in your foot. And it can debilitate you, just put it that way. And I've got another condition from playing football. I broke my leg 3 times. No, actually 2 times, and I broke my ankle as well and my collarbone. So I've been in the wars as a footballer. But when you break your leg, everybody will know this. It hurts for whole days. And I've got this condition called chronic venous syndrome, which in layman's terms, it's basically your legs are buggered. Right. The circulation. I think Mickey Hazard suffered from it as well, if I remember rightly. It's basically where your veins are knotted and sometimes the artery can be blocked as well. But then that's dangerous. You could get a blood clot and then you're right. But I don't have that because I've had the special scan. But moving on from my bloody injuries, you don't want to be hearing about all my injuries. Right, so Wayne Bonner, I'd like to play walking football, but the pace may be too quick for me. Do you know what I mean? Like you could play like snail football. We'll call it snail football just for you, Wayne. How about that? So basically you go at snail pace. You guys are cracking me up, man. You know what? Also, anybody else in the chat, if you're amalgamated with a football team locally, let me know. Let me know. That'd be interesting to find out, you know. So let me find out where I was on my banners. I think I was here. No, I wasn't. I was here. Right. Now, it's England Haiti preview, so I want to talk a little bit about their manager. He's 44 years old. He's Nicolas Delapine. I've got his details up on the phone because, you know, on these banners you can only fit 200 words. So, like, you're battling against the losing thing. So, if you type it all out, you can't get it all in. So, what I'll do, I'll get his details up. Just bear with me. I have got it here somewhere. Do you know what? Whenever I look on my phone, I'm one of these idiots who just don't see things. I write them down on my phone and I copy and paste them, and then I can't find them. So I know a little bit about him anyway because I've written some details here. Here we go. Right, so the Haiti manager, Nicolas Delapine, I think it's pronounced. He was born on the 4th of May, 1979. His full name is Nicolas Michel Gregory Delapine. What a name, eh? Bloody brilliant. Right, he managed a football team in the French league called Grenoble Foot 38, known as GF 38. They play in Division 2 of that league. Some interesting facts: they merged with the men's team in 1997 and 2016. They became GF 38. Let me just let my cat out because he's pain in the bum. Right. And then he's managed Nantes in France, Montpellier in France, and he's managed Guingamp in Japan. And in 2020, he became Grenoble's manager. And then in 2022, he was promoted to the Haiti national side, right? With Haiti, so with Haiti, I'll get that bit later because I don't want to mention that because that's a separate thing. So he's a 44-year-old manager. He comes from good pedigree. He's been in the French league, all right, the lower leagues and some higher leagues with Montpellier and Nantes. But, you know, he got his big breakthrough 2022, only last year, getting made the manager. So his job is to really G up those girls, make sure they stay focused because they're not the fancied team in the group. But you know what? There's some shockers in World Cups. We've seen it before, you know, where you think one team is going to override the other team and they don't. So England have got to be on their guard, I'm telling you. And he generally plays 4-3-3 formation. He's a very attack-minded manager. I was reading up about him. He likes to play the beautiful game with the passing as well. But our job as England is to break up their passing because they are very good passers of the ball and they've got some very athletic players, which I'll talk about later. So we've got to make sure that we don't underestimate them. Because if you go on that pitch, anybody who's played football, anybody who's watched football, right, when you feel that you're going to win, right, and you go on that pitch as a player, especially, right, and you feel that the opposition are worse than you, and you underestimate them, they can bloody beat you. I'm telling you. So you've got to be on your guard, and you've got to make sure you play your game and you put them off their game, and you know who their star players are. So target them, and also their up and coming star players as well. Do your research. So I'm sure Serena Wiegman, our coach, has done her due diligence because that lady is probably the most diligent manager out of all the managers at the World Cup. And I'm not just saying that because she's England's manager. You know, she comes from fantastic pedigree. You know, she's won the European Championships with Netherlands before she became England manager. So she didn't just win us the Euros. She won Netherlands the Euros as well. So she's so particular when she's doing a build up, you know, and the way she trains the girls. And she gives them respite as well, which is very important to let the girls gel as a team. Like, if I don't know about you guys, but if you like the people you're playing with and you get on with them, right, you don't have to like everybody, but if there's a general consensus in the team, not cliques, not like that, but a general coming together, you know, a good bond between those players. And what I've seen with England in the training camp and when they've arrived in Australia, it's absolutely fabulous, and they're having so much fun, and it's really lovely and refreshing watching those girls, you know. And I really hope that we perform to what we know we can perform, you know, because our England team, they are top notch, and we've got some brilliant players there. And I'm just hoping that Serena Wiegman plays our Spurs lady, Beth England. Tell me what you think. Do you think Beth England deserves a chance? Do you think she's better than not Rachel Daly, but do you think she should play alongside Rachel Daly? Because I personally do. All right, let me know what you think in the chat as well. Right, so I found out today as well. See, my due diligence. Not just Serena Wiegmann's good at that, you know. I found out that they're called Les Grenadiers. Is their nickname, right? So there's one for the book. Make sure you remember that, guys and girls. And I want to talk about their route to the World Cup as well. Now they had to play in the I think it's the CONCACAF tournament, and then they finished. I think they finished fourth, and they had to play Senegal. And I think it's the Africa one. It's the joint one. Yeah, they had to play Senegal, who they beat, and then they played Chile to reach their first ever Women's World Cup tournament, and they beat Chile 2-1. Right, and I've got the results. I've got the scorers written somewhere on that as well. Let me just try and find it. Is it on this one? No, it isn't. Yeah, but I know who scored. It was Narilla Mondesir, the captain, scored both goals. So yeah, right. Right. So I want to go through the whole squad. I'll get it up on my phone. Just bear with me, because to type out the whole squad would have taken me ages. And also, oh yes, here we go. Not the squad. I wanted to read something out for you. Not that one. Yeah, so Haiti's qualification, a stunning qualification run-in, make the World Cup thrashing of Senegal 4-0 in their inter-confederation playoff. That's it, because it's like America and Africa, the American leagues and the African leagues. So they had to beat Senegal, and they thrashed them 4-0. So they have got it in them to get a fantastic result. And that was followed by a 2-1 victory against Chile. And their spot was booked for the World Cup, their first ever World Cup as well. So congratulations to the Haiti team. Right, so I've got three main star players. The Haiti's captain, Norilia Mondesir. She's a standout forward, and she plays for Montpellier. And then we have Rose Lord Bourgella is at Dijon. That's like Dijon mustard. That's where it comes from, isn't it? From France. And then we've got Bachiba Louis. What brilliant names, eh? And she plays her football at Fleury 91 in France. And then we've got other stars to watch out for England, right? So, you know, when I read out the predicted lineup, Alicia Russo wasn't in it, which I found it's not going to happen. Alicia Russo will start. I'm telling you, she will. The only way that she's not going to start is if she's injured, and I haven't heard of an injury when I've been looking up all the information. But she's only 23. She's a forward, and she's just signed for Arsenal. I'll put boo there. Sorry, all you Arsenal fans. There won't be any Arsenal fans tuning in, I don't think, anyway. And she signed from Manchester United in an undisclosed fee. And then we have our very own Beth England. Come on, Beth England. What an appropriate name as well. She's got a brilliant name, hasn't she, guys and girls? Of the mighty Spurs, of course. And she's in her prime at 28, that should read. Sorry, I forgot to type the 8. You know, write me an email if you're moaning. Right. And Chloe Kelly of Man City, wearing the number 18 shirt, famously scoring our winning goal to beat Germany in our fabulous Euro final victory versus Germany, beating them 2-1 last year. Yes, get in. Come on. Do you know what? It's going to be an exciting tournament for all the teams, but I'm rooting for England and Ireland, especially. All right. But obviously England's my first love because I was born in England. Even though I've got Greek parentage, I'm born and bred in Tottenham, you know, and I'm an English bird. Yeah. Come on, England. Come on. Let me get back to my chat. Right. Here we go. And then I'll read out the Haiti squads and the England squads as well. So where were we? Let me see. Right. Let me go back. Right, we've got Jim saying, Wayne, I was still at her. Oh, well, I've got to go a bit further back for that. Just bear with me. Where was I? Yeah, here we go. Right. I should star it so I'll be quicker, but I'm getting used to this StreamYard business. You know what I mean? I'm not the most technical, but I'm going to learn how to put the slides on. So I did send them over to Dermot, but he's been really ill, so I just left him alone. After I sent him a couple, I thought, right, leave him alone. If he puts them up, he puts them up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I can show you on my phone what I sent him anyway. Just bear with me while I get them up, and then I'll go through that banner. Okay, this is what I sent Dermot. I actually sent him the Haiti football team. Actually, while I've got it here, I might as well read it out. Right, so we've got the goalkeepers. Normally you get 3 goalkeepers, right? So I think one team has taken 4, if I'm correct, but I'm not sure. I think they had to reduce it down to 3 because I think you're only allowed 3 goalkeepers. So we've got Lara Sofia Larco of Georgetown University. So she plays her football in the US. And then we've got Curly Fuse. She plays for FC Miami City, another one who plays in the US. Naomi Ambrose, who plays for Little Haiti. Then we've got the defenders, Chelsea Surprise Uziri in brackets. That's her full name. And her name's Chelsea Superis and she plays for Uziri. Defender Tabita Joseph. She plays her football in Brest. I think that's in Switzerland, if I'm right. Another defender, Bettina Petit Ferreira. She plays again for Brest. And then the last defender making the cut was Milan Pierre Jerome, and she plays for George Mason Patriots. That's definitely in the USA. And then actually, she's not the last defender. There's 2 more because there's 7 defenders in total. Kefna Louis of Reims. I'll be talking about her later. And Ruffney Mathurin of Louisiana Ragin Gijons. Yeah, you see, so a lot of the girls in that defence play in America, so they're coming from good stock. And then we have, let me have a look here. We've got Jennifer Lemage of Grenoble, Magdalene Morel of Grenoble, and Joseph Etherikov of Exefoot. I don't know where Exefoot is. Sorry, I didn't look up that team, but probably in France, I would imagine. It sounds French. And then we've got Melky de Mornay of Reims, Danielle Etienne of Ford Rams. This is the midfield now. So Melky de Mornay is a midfielder as well. Danielle Etienne of Fordham Rams. She's midfield. Midfield again, Shirley Judy of Grenoble, Noah Ganthia of Western FC, Diana Pierre-Louis of Izzy, Shirley Judy of Grenoble. That's the midfield. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 midfielders. And then finishing off with the forwards, their captain, Narilia Mondesir of Montpellier. Sorry, they play in the top league in France. Rosalind Eliancent of Nantes, Darlena Joseph of Grenoble, Shuandowski Joseph of Zenit, and Rose Lord Borgella of Dijon. There you go. Right, so let me get back to my chat now. Now I've read out all the team that made the cut. So at least you've got a little bit of a grounding who to look, but I will be talking about some of their star players as well, so we know who to watch out for. Right, so Carl Simpson said, I had the same issue, Ellie, had to give up football and 25 after 2 leg breaks and an ACL and ankle, which caused a lot of pain, just couldn't do it anymore. You see what I mean, Carl? You know, like, and everybody in the chat who's played sports, any sports, and had an injury, you know, when it gets cold, it starts hitting those old bones and it really is painful. But the worst thing is not my broken legs. It's actually 2 worse things. The collarbone, that still hurts on my right shoulder, right? It's sort of, I don't know, it's arthritic pain, and it like every time there's a Greek soup called soupaf golemoni. I'll tell you a little bit about that just to make it fun for you all. And you have to whip the eggs up with lemon juice to make it into a creamy froth. And then you add the juice of the chicken that you've boiled into the. You see, you're getting a cooking lesson here now, right? And then you whip it up, whip it up, whip it up. And I'm telling you, every time I make that soup, it's like I've killed myself. My whole shoulder. So sometimes I get in the cavalry, i.e., my three daughters, to do it because my husband's not moving from his chair. He's got it right in front of the TV. He's not moving, right? So they help me sometimes, but I've only got one daughter at home now. And if she's not feeling it, I have to do it, So it really aches after about 10 seconds, even 10 seconds into it. It starts killing me, and the whole bone and the whole of the muscles down my arm. It's like it's like you've been 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. That's what it feels like. And it sort of reverberates right down into my elbow and into the bottom of my hand. And then I get pins and needles in my fingers as well, which is not a good thing. But there's nothing you can do for arthritis, really. You can take medication, I suppose, but I'm not one for big medication. I don't trust it. I don't trust all these painkillers, and you get all these side effects as well. When my mum was ill as well, she had loads of side effects. So nah, unless I've got excruciating pain, I'm not taking any painkillers. I'm a strong woman, I'll go through the pain, because you have to, because otherwise you're popping pills every 5 seconds. So Carl Simpson saying, I've played walking football, though. It's actually real fun. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, Carl. It is really good fun, right? I was coaching at a boys' football club just recently, and it was really good fun. But like, I can run, don't get me wrong, but then when the planter starts buzzing and it starts getting, you can fall over easily because your foot goes from under you because it's numb, and you can't feel your foot go down, so you just collapse in a heap. And when I collapse in a heap, nobody's going to get in my way because they're going to get killed. You know what I mean? Right? And it just plays on you, and you've always got that in the back of your mind as well, that you're going to fall down and hurt yourself. So it's like you start running and you think, what if it goes? It could go in a minute, and then you're worried about it. So I'm with you on that, Carl. I know where you're coming from. So Wayne Bonner's saying, I raced a snail the other day and it beat me by 2 hours. Oh my God, I'm going to write that snail an email, give Wayne a chance, you know what I mean? Oh my God, Wayne, you cracking me up, man. Then Wayne Bonner again saying, I haven't played football in 9 years. Bad foot, 2 shot knees, dodgy knee ligaments, bad back, neck and shoulder. Damn, I miss those days playing centre back. Lol. Yeah, do you know what? That's why I love going into the chat, because you crack me up, you blokes and women. Right, I'm just waiting for. I think Hait's in a stream, isn't she? I think she's with old Perchy soon, so maybe she's getting ready for that. So it'd be lovely to see. But we've got her other half, the shop. Shopping away putter. I'm going to call you that, the shopping away putter. Right, we've got Jim's from Spurs. Well, he's not from Spurs till I die, but he's from just a girl who loves Spurs, really. But he is Spurs till I die. That's what he means, right? So at Wayne, I was still at her, you at Spurs, the Dyer or Sanchez. Oh, right, yeah. You know what I mean? See, Dermot's got a really good nickname for Sanchez. He calls him Bambi on ice. And then obviously the Irish Hotspur, I'm sure he was the one that started the moon boots for Dyer. Yeah, it was either him or someone in the chat. I can't remember because it was so long ago that I was first on the Irish Hotspur. But what a great channel that is. I've got to big up my boys over at the Irish Hotspur, David Harris and Jack Kanicki. They bring us tremendous shows. Brilliant shows each day they're on it, you know, and then they've got the fabulous fan show as well, which I like going on. I love giving my £5 worth with Mia, and now Kate's joined the crew. Come on, the women, we're getting our £5 worth in, because you know what? When you're a woman on YouTube, right, you've not got to be better than the men, but you've got to be up, you know, up there with them. You know, you've got to compete, right? But it's not like a competition, but you've got to make your shows interesting and make them fun as well, so you can stand out. Because, you know, like there's still a lot of sexism about and discrimination even today. Yeah, I mean, I'm part of a fantastic organisation. I'm affiliated to them. I'm a member, and I've got an interview to get into their realms, right? And a lady called Kaz interviewed me, and she made me Spurs Ladies Ambassador. But it was actually Kirst Richardson, the brilliant Kirst Richardson, who was on YouTube, but she's got 2 young kids. So, and she's also a Spurs. She was Spurs men's ambassador, but now she's an associate. So she does a lot of hard work behind the scenes for Spurs, just like I do for the ladies team. She does it for the men, right? So, because obviously I'm a former Spurs lady, so my heart, you know, is there, right? So I love being Spurs Ladies Ambassador. Last year was a very eventful year, and I campaigned. I've said this many occasions, but I'll say it again because I don't want to send myself an email, right? Basically, I was there. I'm Spurs Ladies Ambassador, and I really did campaign, and my emails, I think they got through to them in the end, because I was making a lot of noises on YouTube, and I went on loads and loads of shows for Her Game Too. Right, bigging up the organisation. It's an award-winning organisation as well, and what it does, it champions women in sport, and they do so much good work for women and young girls, and not just for people, women that play the sport, girls who play the sport, young and old. The discrimination that we face, you know, either as a player, an official, or just a spectator, just a simple spectator to go in there. I mean, I've had quite a few experiences. I'll tell you this story because it really did disturb me. I thought those days were over, especially at my age as well. You know, you'd think they give you your dues, right? But it was quite awful, really. There's two things that happened, actually. One, I went with my daughters to the Brighton game, in the FA Cup. We beat Brighton 3-1, and we were standing there, and my daughters were with me, and they're very pretty girls. They're young and pretty, and we got really uncalled for, obscene and harassing guy. He wouldn't leave us alone, and he was like ribbling all over us, and it was awful, very, very bad. But we were very lucky, right? Because we were trying to ward him off, but he was a strong guy, and he was a little bit, he wasn't drunk or anything, but he had a few, but he wasn't drunk, and he was with his dad and his brother and some friends as well, and they were telling him off. But we were very lucky. This big guy behind, he just yelled at him. He goes, "Leave the," I won't say the expletives, but he said, "Leave the girls alone." And he just eventually went on to the other side with his dad, and his dad was pulling him by the hair. Basically, he was right embarrassed about it, right? But, you know, that's the sort of thing you can get. And I'm not the only one, because working for Her Game Too, you hear so many stories. And they've got an advert on the website where they put up boards of all the things they've been chanted at as footballers, you know, and even officials come on there, and fans come on, and they put all the obscenities they've been called as a young girl, a teenager, or a young woman, or a fully fledged international, you know. So it's still there. And the other incident I must tell you about is when it happened to me, just when I went to the Brentford game. I think it was the Brentford game, yeah. Anyway, I was filming for THFC Till I Die, as I do. I'm a very, very diligent lady. I want to film for my my channel so that we've got footage of the game and we've got footage of goals and things like that. And I'll give my half-time reports and my full-time reports. And I was just about to pick up my iPad that I had, and I had it leaning on the floor just underneath the seat. And this idiot, Spurs fan as well, he came and kicked my laptop. He kicked my iPad, sorry, and he broke it. He cracked it. It still works, but it's got a massive crack in it, right? And he goes, "What are you filming for, you stupid woman?" Right? And I thought, oh my God. And then, right, that was bad enough, right, in breaking my iPad and calling me all sorts of names. I won't go into it because he did call me something else, but I don't want to say it, right? But then I went outside, and this young boy, I was doing the halftime report because you got to get a quiet place because it's very noisy in the ground and you can't get a clear reception either. So I went to a quiet place, and this young boy came with his beer, and he's splashing it everywhere, and he's going, "What are you doing there, you stupid woman?" Right? And I thought, oh God, and it was just like, it took me back to those days when I was playing and I used to get abused as well, really badly, like obscenities thrown at me. But you know what? When I was young, I used to go home crying, and I sort of shrugged it off when I was a bit older, because you grow a thick skin, but you still don't want those girls to go through it. And like Her Game too, they're doing fabulous work on that front, so their website is www.hergame2.co.uk, and you can show your support on that website. So I urge you all to go over. I'll type it at the end in the banners as well so that you all know. But there you go. You see that there's many girls with many stories that I've read. And what Her Game too, they've got a portal for all the associates and all the ambassadors, and we all talk to one another and we share our stories, and we've got fans and ex-players and current players. They send us messages as well, and a lot of it is very positive. I must end on a good note on that. The positive work that we do, even with me sending the emails and getting the girls our Spurs ladies to play at White Hart Lane, because we were playing our matches over at Brisbane Road, so I'm really proud of myself. Really, I know sometimes it's bad to say you're proud, but I am proud that I did something. It might have been a little email or a little bit of pressure, or even the Her Game 2 streams that I've done on YouTube with Kirst, I think it does go a long way, because they have got their little spies out on YouTube. I'm sure they have. All right, so there you go. Now we've got Wayne Bonner saying, "Jim, I'd definitely be an upgrade. I'd be Romero, but without the cards. I do, however, miss playing football and reading the game a good 10 passes ahead." Do you know what? That's like, if you read 10 passes ahead, I would liken you with Ledley King, right, Wayne Bonner? Not Romero, because Romero's still learning the game, but he's a fabulous defender, don't get me wrong. I call him the submarine, Romero, because he goes, he sniffs out the danger, but then he's got that red alert thing behind him, and he's right, and he'll go like thunder tackle in, and he'll take the player out. Right, he does get some on the ball, but he normally takes the player out, and the player goes like 50 foot up in the air and then falls to the ground, and then he'll just look at him, goes, "Get up." I love the way he does that, but he's got to be careful because he got 2 red cards, didn't he, last season, and one of them in a very important match, that a match against Milan, that all the Irish contingent came over. That's another story. I won't go there. I'll be here all day otherwise. Right, so we'll get back to these banners as well. So Chloe, I've done that one, sorry. So the last ones I want to talk about, let me just go on the banners. Let me just get it up here. So this is what I wanted to say is the Haiti star players to watch out for that I looked at is Melchi de Mornay. She's got great pedigree. She plays for the fabulous Lyon. Now, if anybody doesn't know, Lyon have won, I think it's 6 Champions Leagues or 8 Champions Leagues. I think it's 6, right? But they're like the Real Madrid of women's football. in terms of European trophies and European success. So she plays for them. So she's coming from the best pedigree in football. So, it only takes one player sometimes to have a fabulous match and be on point, and you could lose the game. So we've got to be on our guard with that Melchi de Mornay. We've got to make sure that we give her special attention, and keep a sharp eye on her. Our defenders got to make sure that they don't underestimate any of their players, but especially Melchi de Mornay, because she can hurt you. Yeah. So there you go. And then we've got Kefna Louis. She's a strong 26-year-old centre back, and she plays her football for Reims. And she's she's fantastic at set pieces, going up and heading the ball. She's a very, very physical, strong player. Right. And I was watching some highlights of her this morning in the early hours just to get a better feel. Because, when you read about a player, if you watch them, I think you get a better feel. And if you don't watch their highlight reel, because their highlight reel can sometimes, even if you put Davinson Sanchez in or Eric Dyer on their highlight reels, they could look like world beaters, But if you watch them in a normal game, right, and you watch the whole 90-minute game, which I did, because I thought, right, let me get a good feel for her. She's so strong. She's fast. She recovers well. She's tenacious in the tackle. She wins her tackles 9 times out of 10. She'll win a tackle, and she's clean. She's not a particularly dirty player. She is physical, but she's fair, which I like in a player, especially in a defender. I hate defenders who are over physical, for the sake of it. And they go charging in and they just want to maim a player, There was a few in the 70s like that. Norman Hunter, chop your legs off. And there was another one. Who was it? What's his name? Well, Dave Mackay was bloody good for us as well. But I think Dave Mackay had a bit of both. He was elegant, right? And he was tough as well. But I think he was more fair than hard, even though that picture with Billy Bremner. And you know what? Another little bit of tit-tat, right? I was at Steve Perriman's talk at Ware Football Club. The great Steve Perriman, our ex-captain and most decorated player, I must add. And probably up there with Glenn Hoddle as my favourite player. I must say that. And he's got a fantastic podcast. So get over there, Steve Perriman's podcast. I'm bigging him up, right? And he was telling me about that picture of Dave Mackay. Because when you're in the club and you're playing with these brilliant players, and Steve Perriman was one of our brilliant players as well, don't underestimate him, because even though people, some of them underrated him as well in the press, and even opposition fans as well, don't underestimate Steve Perriman, because he'll have you, right? And he was like the baby-faced assassin, right? And he was telling me about Dave Mackay's picture, because they had a big picture up on the wall. And I was just having my picture done with the FA Cup with him. And I bought him a water because I could feel his throat going a bit dry. So I went and bought him a water and gave it to him. And he said, thank you very much. And he was telling me about the picture that Dave Mackay said to him privately. And he won't mind me saying this because, it's something that, is poignant to the club as well. And he said it on his podcast as well. He basically said that he didn't like that picture because it showed him in a light that he didn't want to be remembered for. And every time his name is mentioned, Dave Mackay, somebody will bring up that picture of him and Billy Bremner. It's a very famous picture. Everybody knows it who's a Spurs fan of my ilk. Even younger ones, where I'll send them things on the Irish Hotspur. I'll send things to Jacob and to Michael, his co-host, and to the Mile High Hotspur boys as well, Leo and Parker. I always want to give them a bit of Spurs history, because it's important for the youngsters to know about our history, and know about these players, and the Danny Blanchflowers and the Bobby Smiths and the Pat Jennings, I can reel off, and the Jimmy Greaves, and I can reel them off forever, but the thing is, they do need to know. And if it's like the club, if you know about your past, And I was talking about with Kate about the glory statement that Bill Nicholson's was noted for, and Daddy Blanchflower saying the game is about glory, our fabulous captain of our double winning side. And then I was talking about my dad telling me about the 1950-51 team that came up from the second division into the first division, because that's what it was called then. The old second division is the championship now, and the first division is the premiership now, right? So in those days, the first division, we came up and we won the league the first year. And Bill Nicholson was in that side. And my dad would talk about Spurs in my ear. He chewed my ear off. Right, and I was telling Kate about going to the 1967 Cup final with my dad on the shoulders. What a marvellous day that was. But I was only 4 3/4, but my memory serves me right, because it was such a splendid occasion. And like England can take that into this World Cup tournament, you know, that special flavour where you go in and you're very confident but not overconfident. I said that to Kate as well. Don't be overconfident. Don't underestimate your opponent, because you can come unstuck, I'm telling you. Right, so let me finish off with the chat, because you know what? It's going to be a fabulous match. It will do. And I'm going to actually miss the match, unfortunately, but I'll watch it. Well, when I say I'm going to miss the match, I'm going to have it on my phone, but I'm going to be at a birthday party, so I have to sort of be, you know, respectful. If that's the word I was looking for. So, but you know me, I'll probably go in the toilets and watch the match. I can be respectful up to a point. So we got the comments here. Right, here we go. Let's finish off with some comments. Where was I? No, I've got to go a bit further up. Absolute credits. Oh, here we go. Right, Stuart, he was a new one. I should really star these so I know where I was. Useless. Get another presenter. Write me an email. Carl Simpson saying Beth England deserves to have her chance. She's the form striker in the league. Yes, I agree, Carl. I agree 100%. Come on, Serena Wiegman. You know it. What was the word I'm looking for? You know it matters to Beth England as well to be recognised. You know, she fell out of favour, not flavour. She fell out of favour with the England squad, and she wasn't included for a lot of the games, right? And then there was Beth Mead, who's injured, and Leah Williamson, who's also injured. So this is her chance to play her up front with Rachel Daly. She's going to finish chances like she scores for fun. 12 in 12 for our Spurs ladies. So, you know, I want her to play. And I was screaming at the TV against Portugal to bring her on, and she didn't bring her on. It was so sad. And against Canada, because it was behind closed door, I still got to catch the highlights of that game. I haven't caught up with it, so I'm going to catch that up. Even like Bobby's in the chat. If he's seen the highlights, let me know if Beth England came up. I'll Google it later, but even so, she should have played in that Portugal game, because we were struggling up front, especially, you know, because there's Lauren James doing a lot of good work, you know, and doing a lot of good through balls to the strikers, and they were wasting all the chances. I know sometimes you can have an off day, but when that is, as a coach, I'm not saying I'm better than Serena Wiegman, but well, I'm not saying I'm better, but I would have brought on Beth England. I would have. Come on, you're right there, Carl. Well done for that. 100% comment, that is. Then we've got Wayne Bonner saying, what's Haiti's record like in world football? Well, they haven't lit it up, just put it that way. But this is their first World Cup, sorry. So it's a chance to chalk up some memories and chalk up some, you know, credibility for their country, you know. Nobody's really expecting them to do anything, so they're the dark horses of the dark horses, if you know what I mean, Wayne. So yeah, but they have got, like, I've just gone through some of their star players, so they have got some talent. And the girl that plays for Lyon, you've got to watch her, I'm telling you. right? Stuart 727, morning, Stuart. We're not quite afternoon yet, but Stuart, I met him at the Kaufman Coffee Club. Brilliant. Ben Kaufman as well. A big up to his show. It's brilliant. The Calfee Company. It's fantastic. And then you've got Brewing Bollocks. Sorry about that. Maybe it's a bit too early. Don't take me down YouTube. Right. Stuart said, I had an ACL, had to give up football because I'm a fat blah, blah. Big up, Elly, and everyone in the chat. Listen, basically, right, it doesn't matter about your weight, Stuart. It doesn't. Just get out on that pitch. All right, you had an ACL, but I'm sure you've recovered from it by now, right? Just get out on that football. Do the walking football, do the snail football, do the trot along football, whatever you can. It gets you fit. It's social. You meet other people that love football as well, because they're not there just to bloody run or walk for 90 minutes, you know. And it's nice, you know, and it gets you out the house, and you're doing something that you love. If you're playing football and you love football like me, I've got a park behind my house, so I'm always over there with the football. And I took a young boy called Fenton to the club I was coaching at. So he's really good, and he's a defender. I'm really proud of him, actually. He's doing so well. He's broken into the first team, so I'm really proud of him. Right. Then we've got Wayne Bonner saying, I started the moon boots thing on Matt Hayes. There you go. Right. Stream 2 to 3 years ago. See, so I'm giving credit to Wayne. See, I knew someone would tell me, because I know I saw it said on the Irish Hotspur, but I wasn't quite sure who started it. So Wayne, well done for that. That is the best title for him. Moon boots. Still remember the comment I made, love. Come on, Wayne, you're a brilliant guy, I'm telling you. Right, and then we've got Tony Luxor. Hi, Elly. Big up yourself, rude girl. Peace and love. Yes, I am a rude girl sometimes. Bobby knows that. We won't go there. Right. Wayne, no, actually, if you want to know, write me an email. There you go. That's my new motto now. Write me an email. Wayne Bonner, our question, what were you saying yesterday? I think it was about the women's team playing their home games at the Lane this season. Yes, I just mentioned that, Wayne. Yeah. So what I did, I started doing like nice emails, you know, why the girls should be playing at White Hart Lane. Because I was trekking over to Brisbane Road and they called off a couple of games, waterlogged pitch, right? And like, because they haven't got the facilities to, you know, like our pitch. If it's a waterlogged pitch, it's not going to be a waterlogged pitch at White Hart Lane. I'm not going to call it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I know I've just done it, but it is White Hart Lane. That's sacred to me. It's called White Hart Lane, not the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, right? And it's a pain. And I was there, right? And there was a guy who come all the way from Norway to see our Norwegian goalkeeper, Coppola, right? And he was with his little 8-year-old girl, and he was so upset. And we went to the Brisbane Road supporters club, and we went in there, and there was one lady, like Doris the tea lady, and a bloke, and he goes, the game's been called off, love. And I thought, what? And then they started putting signs out about 2 hours too late, right? And nothing on the Spurs website, nothing to say don't go over to the match, you know, which was right. It was pain in the bum, just put it that way, because I trekked all the way from North London to East London to go to watch the girls play, and they called off the match. And twice it happened to me. So, you know, it's little things like that. And that poor man who came with his daughter all that way, and they didn't have nothing messaged, you know. They probably, you knew that it was bloody raining, have cats and dogs, and then there was a chance that the game was going to get waterlogged and called off. Bloody, you know, do your due diligence, Spurs, you know. Oh, I was so angry, I'm telling you. And like, I had to calm down with an English breakfast at a local cafe. I had a full English breakfast. That calmed me down. Okay, what we got here? We got Wayne Bonner. Oh yeah, I've done that one. Sorry. Yeah, so there's a answer to that question. Carl Simpson, absolute cretins. Yes, they are bloody absolute. Oh, Good morning, Bobby K. Oh, it's Bobby K. I'm going to give you the whole music. It's Bobby K. It's Bobby K. It's Bobby K. It's Bobby K. Good morning, Elly, and everyone in the chat. Fist bump, love heart. Yes, me and Bobby are like that. Yeah, we are. Love it. I'm going to try and make a trip to Canada to meet Bobby and his beautiful boys of the Free Spurs boys. Come on, big up the Free Spurs boys as well, guys and girls. Get over there and subscribe to Bobby K's channel. Brilliant channel. And he's got Kuvan the Kang as well, which is absolutely hilarious. And not this Saturday, the next Saturday on the 29th, it's going to be myself, Hait and Mia, the three girls, three women of YouTube. There are other women as well, but obviously Bobby invites the best, isn't it? You know, no offense to the other women, but we are. You have to big yourself up sometimes, you know what I mean? Now, Wayne Bonner's saying the polite word that springs to mind is scum. Yes, absolute vile, abhorrent scum. Would they speak to their mothers and grandmothers like that? I know. You see, it's upbringing as well. On Bobby's channel as well, we did her game with Kirst, and it was a brilliant. Anyone who hasn't seen it, please get over there. Just type in Free Spurs Boys, Kirst and Elly, and you'll get it up. All right. Her game 2. If you put her game 2 on Free Spurs Boys, her game 2, and if you type in Kirst and Elly, it'll always come up, and you'll see our show that we had with the brilliant Bobby on the Free Spurs Boys and his 2 brilliant boys, Christian and Jai. It was a fantastic show, and you'll learn a lot from it. Just put it that way. Yeah, so get over there and support the boys. I'll always big up Bobby's channel, and he gave me a platform and Kirst the platform because she was. I wasn't even made the ambassador at that stage. I was just got nominated, so I had to go for my interview. Yeah, so get over there, don't forget. Right, Wayne Bonner, morning Bobby K, hope you're well. And then Bobby K saying, Wayne Bonner, Carl Simpson, good morning gents. Yes, all talking to one another. Right, and then we've got, hold on, let me delete that. All right, we've got Carl Simpson saying, I would need to think 10 moves ahead as it would take me that long to get into the position. You know what? Anticipation, Carl. Anticipation is football's in the brain as well. If you're ahead of your opponent, it doesn't matter how slow you are, you can still make the grade. Right. Wayne Bonner, all good, thanks. Hope you're well. Sorry, that was Bobby to Wayne Bonner. Bobby K saying, unfortunately it works, so just quick pop in to say hi and hit that like button. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah, hit the like button, everybody, because that helps me with the algorithm on my channel as well, because THFC Women, although it's part of THFC Till I Die, THFC Women Till I Die, we're part of the group. But you know, when you're subscribing to the main channel, but when you're liking my channel. So we want you to do both. And as the banners are going across the bottom, you can also pick up your club memberships or get your super chats in to get ahead of the game. You know, we know times are hard. If you can and you want to put in a super chat, you're more than welcome to, but there's no pressure there. I'm telling you, that's one thing we don't do here. Right, so Carl Simpson, Elly as England manager, first question from the reporters, why you pick 7 Spurs players? Yeah, do you know what? I want to mention that actually, right? Because there is one particular Spurs player that I'm very cross hasn't got a England cap yet, and that's Ashley Neville, otherwise known as Ash Neville. I'm so upset, right? Because as you know, on the men's side, I'm Queen Elly Hoybier because I absolutely adore Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. But on the women's side, I'm Queen Elly Neville, right? Because she is a fabulous player. Anybody who's watched Spurs Ladies, and even if you haven't, just type in her name on YouTube and see how fabulous she is and what fantastic goals. She's actually played as a fullback usually by Spurs, which is not her best position. And getting onto that, Rhiannon Skinner probably lost her job because she was playing her out of position. Not only that, we bloody lost 9 games on the trot, which didn't help. She's best played as an inverted midfielder, stroke right wing back. That's her best position because she's a fabulous passer of the ball, and she's so tenacious in a tackle. She's got it all, the girl. She's elegant as well. She's so calm on the football. She's like, if I'm likening her to any male footballer, because I know some people, they don't know all the women's footballers, but if I'm likening her to a male footballer, she's like Ledley King stroke Glenn Hoddle. That's how good she is, right? In terms of her technical ability, she's very, I'm not saying she's as good as Glenn Hoddle, but she's like that sort of player, elegant, got nice, really long legs. She's good on the ball. She's good at receiving the ball. She's good at passing the ball. She's just like, defending's not her strong suit. You know, like Porro. He's not brilliant at defence, but he's brilliant going forward. So she's wasted as a fullback. So I just feel like, come on, get your finger out, Spurs ladies and England ladies, and play her. You know, pick her for a future team. It's not too late for her. I think she's 29 now, if I'm right. So she's still got some years left in her. You know. So let's get back to the chat. Right, here we go. Yeah, I sounded a bit sad then because she's my favourite player. But I'll cheer up. I'm going to send Spurs and England an email about that. Don't worry. Right, so Joseph Monaghan. Yeah, I love Joseph. We have lovely chats, me and Joseph, on the Irish Hotspur mainly. So she go, come on, you lovely ladies. Yes, Saturday, 10:30. Come on. And then Daniel saying, morning to all, one love, big up. Yeah, with the purple and gold till we're sold motto. Yeah. And then Wayne Bonner saying, I love Neville. She's a good player. She just keeps getting better every season. Yes, she does, Wayne. And you know what? I hope the new manager, Robert Villaharm, our new Swedish manager, who we got from HK Brucken, I think they're called, HK Brucken in Sweden. And he's coming from good pedigree, right? So, and we've bought a new player called Luana Beulah. She's a centre-back. Because I think we're resigned to losing Kaya Simon, who didn't feature for Australia. I don't think she got on. No, because I was watching the match live with my niece Drula. I don't think she got on, but I was so busy with the chat with people chatting to us and Drula coming on for the first time, her debut, as my daughter says it's pronounced. So I just hope all the players that play for Spurs ladies, we've got 2 for Jamaica with Drew Spence and Becky Spencer, our goalie, and Drew Spence we signed from Chelsea. Very fabulous player. You know, she did play for England early doors, but she switched her allegiance to Jamaica, which, you know what, she could have had a good England career, but no disrespect to Jamaica. They're a good side as well. So she's got a very good chance with them. And then for Canada, we got the fantastic and beautiful Shalina Sadolski. Bobby knows about her. If you don't know, you're living under a rock. She's our centre-back. And she had a very bad ACL injury all last year. She had knee surgery. So she was out of it for like 95% of the season. So we missed her. And we leaked so many goals. We weren't losing by a lot. We got battered a few times, but I won't mention the teams because I don't want to give them credibility, right? But the other games, it was like 2-1s, 1-0s, 3-2s, you know, and a lot of the games we were taking the lead as well. We actually battered Brighton 8-0, and we signed their early doors. We signed their striker, Elly Brazil, but she got an ACL injury. I was at that match as well for Man City versus Man City at Brisbane Road. And she suffered an ACL injury. She went for the ball really hard and they clattered her, and then she fell to the ground, and I knew it weren't good. And then the stretchers came on and we got beat 3-0 that game. And Kaya Simon was on the sidelines that game as well. So I actually got a nice picture with Kaya Simon, another beautiful girl at Spurs. Yeah. So I've got lots of hope. We need a few more signings at Spurs, though. We do. We need strengthening in the back line. We've got, don't forget Rhea Percival. She won for New Zealand. She missed the penalty as well, right? I didn't actually catch the match live, but I watched the highlights and fantastic goal New Zealand scored. Wilkinson, brilliant goal, brilliant move from the goalie down the wings, and a beautiful cross came in and Wilkinson finished it like in style. Brilliant goal. And then there was Australia versus Republic Ireland, and Republic of Ireland losing 1-0 on just a penalty. They were in the game, like I said earlier. So that's the end of the show, everybody, boys and girls. Let's see what Drew. I think it's Wayne Bond. Drula did well yesterday on the stream. She's a natural at it. Yeah, she is. Do you know what? And I'm going to be inviting her on the Spurs ladies streams from now on, because she's very knowledgeable about the WSL league as well. So it's nice, when you're doing a stream, it's nice to bounce off somebody. And the chat, I can bounce off you guys because you're fabulous as well. And I'll always big you up everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, bigging up the chat, bigging up the chat, bigging up the chat. You know what I mean? And Drula done a fantastic job. And then next time she comes on, you'll see her beautiful face, because I'm sure she's going to put her camera on as well, in real life, not just the picture behind the girl. You'll see the real girl. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. But I'm going to do a Dermot. Just bear with me. This is going to be me and Drula and Kate and Mia when England bring back the World Cup trophy. On that plane, they're going to land at Heathrow Airport, and they're going to be greeted by thousands and thousands of English people cheering them on. I'll be there too, and I'm sure Mia and Kate will be there with me, cheering them on with Drula. And this is going to be us when we bring it back. Here we go. There you go. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. It's been a pleasure doing this show for you. And if you've got any questions, like I said, put it in an email, ellykakaratos@gmail.com. There you go. But before I do sign off, there's one more thing I need to do. Right, I'm bigging up my girls as well. Just bear with me. Right, I'm just going to go to the banners again. And I'm going to go to the top. Here we go. Right, now we've got Kate's show. I always get it wrong, but I'm going to get it right today. https://youtube.com/@justagirlwholovesspurs. Get over there, subscribe. I think she's got over 160 subscribers now, doing fantastic. What a great cola bottle girl she is. Yeah, and she's got her husband Jim doing the shopping, putting the shopping away in the background. So remember, https://youtube.com/@justagirlwholovesspurs. Brilliant show, entertaining, fun, informative. You got the personality of Kate Boxall. What a great lady she is. And we'll be doing a show together very soon as well, because we've hit it off, me and Kate, and me and Mia. We'll be doing the Spurs shows as well. So here's Mia's hook. https://youtube.com//@Spurs between the lines 1. Do not forget the 1. Or you can just put youtube.com/@Spurs between the lines. And I'm sure Kate told me yesterday you can put youtube.com/@JustAGirlWhoLovesSpurs. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Come on, England. Come on, Spurs ladies. Let's bring those trophies back to White Hart Lane and back to England shores. Bring that beautiful World Cup trophy. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. And come on, England. Let me just put the music on now. I'm a bit slow, so just bear with me. Right, here we go. Right, and everybody, remember to subscribe to all the channels I've mentioned, Bobby's channel as well, Free Spurs Boys, okay? And thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Do everything that you love with the people that you love, and take care. Bye-bye.